btwb app gives you access to movement screens. And a movement screen will do various things, including compile various different statistics for you, track your history with that movement, give you levels for different predetermined performances for that movement, etc., etc. So let's go over how to access these different movement screens. You have a few different options. The first is via the search icon in the top right hand corner of your home screen here. If I click into that, I get a couple of different options here. We're going to go ahead and select movements, which will then allow us to search for a specific movement. Now you can use the search bar here to actually type something in, which will then produce some results. Or, as you noticed on the main screen here, that we have some predetermined, a list of predetermined movements here. These are going to be the most popular movements on btwb, so the ones that are used the most. And you can see the movement GIFs that we have for them there, so you get a cool visual representation of that movement as well. So you can either search for a movement or you can click on a movement. So let's go ahead and click on the first one, back squat, and that'll take you to the back squat movement screen. Now we're going to come back to this screen and talk about it a little bit, but I do want to go over a couple of different options that you also have. From this same search screen here, you could also click on workouts. This, you're obviously going to search for a workout. Once you find a workout, we'll go with Fran here. You're going to click the plus icon, and then you're going to go into details. This actually takes you to the workout screen. Now, there's a couple of things are happening here on this screen, but at the very bottom, you get a list of movements that belong to this workout. If I click into either of those, again, it'll take me to my specific movement screen. All right, so that's the second option. If we come all the way back to the home screen here, there is a third option directly from your workout calendar in the fitness tab. When we scroll on down through the various tracks and workouts programmed to those tracks, you'll notice the automated movement GIFs that we have attached. Remember, these get added to your calendar here automatically based on the movements that are in the workout, in the planned workouts on your calendar. So what you can do is you can actually click into or on one of these movement GIFs. I just clicked on the push-up movement GIF there, and again, it takes me to that specific movement screen and the various data that appears on it. Okay, so you got a bunch of different options there for getting to actual movement screens. So let's go over the actual movement screen. For that, I'm going to go search movements. I'm going to jump back into the back squat screen. All right, and we'll use this as our example. So at the very top of the screen, you get to see some compiled statistics there. What we do with those is we add up all the different stats from all of your posts for your entire fitness journey, and we display them there. So we've got your posts, which will be the total number of posts you have containing this movement. We've got reps, so the total number of reps performed. We do have a distance there, which you can see is grayed out. The same thing with the time. So we've got distance and time. Both of those are grayed out there. That just means that there hasn't been any data for that movement, which makes sense because you're not moving a back squat for distance, and typically you're not doing it for time, okay? But all of that depends on the results you're actually logging. And then we've got a load there, so you can see the accumulated load. And then finally, the number of workouts, unique workouts you've performed containing this movement. So a nice little summary there at the top. And then we get into your recent posts. So we're going to show you your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 most recent posts containing this movement. That could come from any workout. It could come from a single modality back squat, lifting session. It could come from a Metcon. Doesn't matter. Your last 5 will appear here in reverse chronological order. You can always click into any of these, let's click into one of these results, which will take you to that results screen. All right, so you can revisit that performance. If we come back here, you can also click on the See All option down here at the bottom of the list, which will then take you to your personal activity feed with a couple of different filters applied. So you can see we're only looking at my posts and my posts that contain the back squat movement. So I can scroll through these much like I would do any activity feed option, whether it be my follow list, my gym list, but this is going to be only my posts containing back squats. All right, so let's head on back. As we continue scrolling down, you get this section here that displays some levels. All right, now levels will only appear on weightlifting movement screens and interval-based movement screens, so your running and your rowing options. All right, you won't see these levels currently on the gymnastics screen just yet, but the way that levels work here are we've got some predetermined rep schemes for lifts specifically, so 1, 3, 5, and 10. We'll show you or we'll pull in automatically your best effort for each of those rep ranges, and then that performance gets you a level. Okay, so we compare that rep range effort. So for example, my recent, or this 3 rep back from 2014, 265 by 3, we compare that to all other 3 reps on btwb, and that's at level 62. All right, so you can see the various different levels we have there, as well as the actual performance and the date it was performed on. So you get to see which of these you're most competitive at. We also do a master's level. So for those who are 35 plus, instead of taking that performance and comparing it to all other efforts on btwb, we'll compare to all other 35 plus year-old efforts on btwb, and this is what we're calling your master's level. Okay, so the same effort, but how does it compare to the 35 plus crowd? All right, then as we scroll on down here, we've got a potential max section. So basically what we do is we take your best or your most competitive level from the list up here, and what we do is we calculate a potential max from it. So using our potential max equation, we say you performed 5 reps at 275, and we think that you have the ability to perform X potential 1 RM. And in this case, for me, it's going to be 324.3 pounds. All right, and then we finish up each of these movement screens with an equipment list. So you can click on those to visit some of those pages if you want to. All right, so this is an example of a lifting screen. Let's show you an example of a run or row screen. The only difference is going to be this little levels section here. And the reason for that, we'll click on the row, is because the presets are different, right? So we've got various different distances here versus the 1, 3, 5, 10 rep ranges we use for lifting movements, but we've got the same idea going on. So each of those efforts is going to also receive a level, and in this case also, because it's not lifting, we don't show you a potential max either. All right, but the other aspects of the screen are the same. The top section here also, you can see different statistics filled out and highlighted here versus the back squat, right? So this one has a grayed out loading section, whereas the back squat had a bunch of accumulated loading there. All right, so those are our movement screens. All you have to do is log scores to workouts that contain those specific movements. Those screens will get updated with the new data with each post.